guys, what's going on? I'm Dale of Dale's Leatherworks. In today's video I have a very fun project ahead of me, and I thought I'd be an idiot not to make a video out of this. So my buddy Cam, who uses the Instagram account Drunkishly, he has been a big supporter of mine over the years. Super cool guy, really have grown to like him a lot. He wears a size 9.5 double E boot. Wow, those are huge. Puts my 8.5s to shame. Just kidding, I'm not that emasculated by this. He sent me these 3 pairs of Nix boots. I believe these are the Parkhurst Nix collab, which is really cool. And then we've got dark brown waxed flesh, and we've got what appears to be and feel like black chrome Excel. These are all incredible builds, but he was in the process. He did this Rose Anvil EDC pocket kit. He ordered this and was having a hard time with it, started to get a little nervous. I understand, so I said, Cam, send me the boots. I'm gonna hook you up. This is gonna be a lot of fun. Essentially, we're installing knife holsters onto these boots and or tool holsters or whatever. So by my understanding, they're gonna go on the outside of each boot. What's kind of interesting is they sent out these little stitch helpers as hole punchers, and I can't help but imagine how difficult that would be to pierce through what appears to be 5.5 ounce leather and make adequate enough sized holes to drive it all the way through and then run a needle through it. So I'm actually going to use these stitch prongs on them and create the stitch lines and then hand stitch them in. It does appear that Rose Anvil sent out really high quality Ritza tiger thread. That's actually what I use here. It's yeah, this is the same stuff, really high quality. It's basically like 55, 60 bucks a spool like this, but it is super high quality, super high tensile strength, really waxy too, beautifully just holds things in place. And so what I'm gonna do is I'll capture most of it on video, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna very gently take a towel. Before you start a leather project, you always just want to get all the tools you need in place, everything in place. That could take 10 to 15 minutes. But so I'm going to do, I'm going to lay a towel down. Even though this is a nice gentle surface, I still want to make sure that the boot, since I am going to be hammering, that this side of the boot that's going to be laying down doesn't take any damage. Now, of course, I can't just hammer through this, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert my marble into there to create a nice hard surface in there, and then I'm going to take, thank God I have one of these, a very small self-healing punch pad that will prevent the tool from getting damaged when it actually hits the marble. So this is going to go through, land on this pad, it'll go through the leather without causing damage to anything else. This is fun. I've never worked on a boot before. This is my first cobbler job. This is a really cool project that Weston dreamed up. I really like it. But yeah, the only thing that I'd say about this is I think the tools selected were just a little inadequate. But overall, Weston's a solid dude. Stitch holes are punched, so looks like I got all of them. Alright, so let's start sewing her up. And I'll actually use the Ritza thread that came with this. This will be good. Good color. As I'm stitching this, I'm realizing something. Because of this gusset, it's actually really hard to get your hand all the way down into the boot. If this tongue wasn't gusseted, I'd be able to more surgically get in here, and so it's kind of difficult to maneuver my hand on the inside of the boot, especially as the lower I get in the stitch lines. And I say this because this might be somewhat of a difficult project for a beginner. I could see a lot of people having a hard time with this one. In the words of Steve Beto, let's continue. First pass is the most difficult because it's basically setting the stitches the return pass is going to be a lot easier because everything's basically in place. So the first pass is always the most difficult. I have this glove. I know they're ugly, but I get them at Lowe's. They're cheap and they really help with the stitching. Really help me grip the needle. Now, this is just me, it's not necessary, but I always, usually, at high stress points, like these top 3 stitches, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back through again. Not that the thread can't handle the job, but just looking at these boots, I could tell Cameron wears his boots real hard. And so I want to give him all the reinforcement that I can. It's kind of difficult going through the holes a 4th time, but it's worth it, and the stitching is just so much more reinforced. All right, let's continue. Voila! So I'm happy with how this came out. I'm happy with the placement and everything. On the inside, I did burn down the inner thread. Not sure if the camera's capturing that, but there was a little bit of a knot in there when I tied off the thread, and being mindful of a human leg is going to be in here, I didn't want that knot from the thread to be protruding, so I burned it down and smashed it down into there. So all right, we got penetration all the way through. Sorry, bad use of the word penetration. Let's continue. All right, first pair is done. Pretty happy with the results. Next up, what I believe are dark brown waxed flesh. The box says dark wax on it, so, but I'm not exactly sure. Okay, and in talking to Cam some more, he actually wanted the card slot on the inside of the boot. He said interior. I thought he meant the interior versus the anterior side. So I stuck it on the outside, but no, he actually wants it on the inside. So I'm gonna make sure that it makes it on the inside of the black Chrome Excel pair, at least. I don't think it'll make a huge difference being on the outside, but yeah, definitely if you're putting cards inside your boots, then it's gonna be more secure on the inside, obviously. Let's start with the final pair. Okay, let's get this. For this, I was using my higher grade Odin stitch helper. It's a lot sharper, really useful tool in leather work. Just got that on Amazon. Voila, stitches punched. Already got the thread threaded up. All right, final round. Just got this bad boy finished off. Pretty happy with the placement there, looking pretty slick. Beautiful. So for this one, yeah, so this pocket is going on the inside, but what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna still do it the same way. So I'm gonna make my hole etchings, my hole marks. All right. and I put them delicately so that it wouldn't overlap the white handmade Spokane, Washington stamp there. Now the tongue gusset is kind of troublesome because it keeps wanting to shift underneath where I'm doing the stitches, so I'm being very careful and mindful. So around these rounded angles, I'm doing the I do the double, and I just do them one at a time. I go in the previous hole, line it up with the next, then once I get to another straight edge, continue on with the 6-prong punch. All right, so this is going on the inside. Difficulty level should be about the same. All right, and we are all finished up. So overall, I think this was a very fun project. Do I think that this is a project for a beginner? Probably not, if I'm being fully transparent. I really love WESN and everything that he does for the boot world. He really brings a new energy and new vibe to the scene. I love it, and a unique vibe as well. But that said, could a novice just install this with one of these stitch prongs? I don't know. I don't know that it would come out perfect. It was not hard for me because I had the equipment, obviously, and I'm kind of used to punching holes through leather and then stitching through. But that said, have any of you guys, I want to hear from the audience on this one, have any of you guys used this kit, and how did your project turn out? So again, here we go. I got the card slot on the interior and then the knife sheath on the exterior of the right boot. So interior left boot, exterior right boot. And then on this pair, same thing. Voila. And then this pair, I actually got it to exactly how Cameron wanted it, which was with the pocket on the inside of the boot. So, but I was messaging with him, he's happy either way, and if he's happy, then I'm happy. So with that said, this was a lot of fun to do. Cameron, thank you for entrusting these boots to me, and I will have them back to you shortly. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'm Dale of Dale's Leatherworks, and I'll see y'all in my next video.